Come check out our live stream. We're doing a live stream. We're back to playing... Are we playing Doki Doki Literature Club? We're playing Doki Doki Literature Club. Come see. We resolved the community guidelines issues. We're good to go until future notice. So yeah, come see us. We just got to some crazy shit. And we're going to get to some more soon. So come check out our live stream. It's probably up right now. Go set a reminder. Go see what's up there. Back to the video. Welcome everybody to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is ReZero, episode 34 of the series, season 2, episode 9. What happened last time?
Last time, just as Subaru was trying to make an escape, Garfield just went out of control. He went into beast mode. Tony the Tiger running around, slaughtering villagers and Otto and Patriche. And at the last everyone was just sacrificing themselves for Subaru. Kind of sad. And then as soon as Garfield was getting too close to Subaru, the necklace activated and he went flying into the place that he was before in like the dungeon area. Came out, there's snow everywhere. He got destroyed by some rabbits. That was pretty disgusting. And then at the end of that, he obviously returned by death because he got killed by the rabbits.
Yes.
Back into the trial, and Echidna invited him to a tea party once again, and he was able to tell her about Return by Death, which was pretty significant because he's never actually been able to tell anyone without them dying.
And we don't know what the connection is. Specifically, we know a little bit about the witches and like the stories we've been told, but they're not quite as reliable, I suppose, like the sort of creation myth and everything. So like the connections between the witches and how she possibly knows about Return by Death, how she knew about it all this time, probably has to do with the fact that she's a witch, but we don't 100% know.
She made his like the trial of his past from his literal past.
Exactly.
So I'm assuming she can like
see across dimensions.
Or yeah, and I guess just see into his memory, if not into everything else.
But
like,
why him?
That's once you go into the trial, you like
she can see everything.
Like what? Yeah, potentially. That would be kind of cool. I literally just thought of that.
I think there's something to that. I think that might actually be it.
And that might be why.
Maybe that's why she hasn't been watching the whole time, but she just got all that information.
And maybe that's not correct. That's just a theory because we don't know. Maybe she can just literally, since she's a witch and she's dead, she can just see literally everything. Mm-hmm. Or just once people, like, enter into her area, it, like, immediately grants her access to everything inside their minds. Mm-hmm. And she can do with that what she pleases.
Yeah, I'm excited to get some answers. I say that every episode, but it feels like we're getting further away from the truth every single time. And simultaneously closer in some ways, but it's just, I'm excited to hear what the deal is with that, because that's really significant if somebody else can understand his Return by Death thing. And I guess I didn't even think about the fact that she was, like, wearing a student uniform in his past. That, like, she was there, and obviously she could, like, see into that. That's super significant that she can see into, like, Japan, like, real-life Japan.
Yeah.
Outside of the world of Lagunica, so it's really significant, and I guess I didn't put that together, but now that you say that, I think that's more likely than she's been watching the whole time, but if she was watching the whole time, I want to understand why she's able to do that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think she was watching the whole time, but she might have been. But to me, it seems like she, like, took a look in his mind and then, like, made that accordingly.
Indeed. Well, there's only one way to find out, is to watch the show, so we're going to get right into this episode. Hope you guys like the video and subscribe. It really helps us out when you guys sort of interact with the videos. If you want, you can leave a comment, too. That really helps us out as well. But yeah, we hope you subscribe for future episodes of this show and many others. But we're just going to get right into it. This is not a market substitute. We hope that you watch the original show, support the official release. This is not a substitute for the show. We include some of the show in this video to aid our reaction. However, it is not a free alternative for watching the actual thing on Crunchyroll, which you can watch right now. We assume you've already seen if you're watching our reaction because we're trying to provide our reaction review, not the show to you. Support the official release. We're getting right into this reaction review to this episode of ReZero, Season 2, Episode 9. Let's go.
君にそれだけの苦難を歩ませた存在に耐え難い怒りを覚えただけだ。 にもできないさ。できたとしても僕は願い下げだ。
死に戻りには回数制限があると思うか。
なるほど。当然行き着くべき疑問だね。あくまで推測に過ぎないと前
I haven't thought about the limit until like since season 1.
おそらく
That's good to know. I wonder how she knows that.
She knows a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
So
clearly.
I'm inclined to trust her.
君を死に戻りさせる権能は魔女の妄執だ。それが続く限り君の死には終わりがない。
Delusion.
が何のための力だと思う。
The witch's delusion.
死なせないための力だし、君に過ちを許さない力だ。
Pride. I predicted this. If that's where this ends up, it won't let you make mistakes. You need to be perfect.
君以外の誰かは思惑にない。その力で誰かを救おうと奔走してきた。
Yeah, I thought that was obvious. That it was his decision. He doesn't have to go back. He just has every time.
Mm-hmm.
その犠牲になったものを取り戻すチャンスは巡ってこない。
そういうことになるね。
いいぜ。お前が俺にくれた死に戻りって恩恵、使い倒してやるよ。ああ、決めた。決まった。
I mean, you say that now, but like you've made a lot of resolutions.
随分と簡単に立ち直るもんだね。
He's been through a lot.
簡単じゃねえよ。これまで通りだったら折れた心を必死にテープで止めてたかもしれねえ。だけど今はお前にしか頼れない。対価なら何だって払ってやる。
はあ、君は魔女を口説く才能があるのかもしれないな。それで何が聞きたい？
わからないことだらけだ。中でもとびきりなのが一番最後。俺を食い殺したやつだ。
What the fuck was that?
手のひらサイズのウサギだった。
ああ、大ウサギのことだね。
大ウサギ。
Oh, Soggy, the king of rabbits.
大いだよ。三大魔獣のうちの一体さ。
三大魔獣。
Great mom.
The white whale, the
Oh,
black
shit.
serpent, and the great rabbit. The black serpent. Is that the dragon?
Oh. Oh shit.
Created by Daphne.
勘弁してくれよ。
単純な戦闘力で比較すれば白芸がはるかに勝る。けれど、討伐の難しさで言えば圧倒的に
Way more cunning.
And there's like a million of them.
他の生物は全て餌だ。上を満たすこと以外の欲求は何一つ持たず、後にはある。単体が無限に分裂して増える特性があるんだ。
Holy shit.
Like a real bunny, but just terrifying.
ひとまとめに葬るしかない。それは降りしきる雨粒を残らず蒸発させる行いに等しい。
たちは外に出られない。
Either Amelia needs to get her shit together, or
Can you trap them in there?
in the barrier.
No, only half-bloods.
Yeah.
Fuck. Can you reverse the barrier somehow? You need to trap them in there.
Oh shit.
魔女ってのはみんな死んでるはずだろ。
Yeah. So is she.
Is she a mystic waifu as well?
本当におすすめしないんだ。ここは死と無縁の世界だけど、精神体に死を思わせるほどの傷が入れば、肉体に戻っても心はひび割れたままだ。
Fuck.
廃人になるってことか。外よりよっぽどリスクでけえ。
That's a way bigger risk.
やめておくかい？
大ウサギの生みの親だろ。倒すヒントはそいつに聞くのが一番手っ取り早い。やってくれ。
Oh god. The world looks the same though. She's way cuter, but What?
おお、痛くないってことは悪人じゃないってことだ。よかった。
Oh. That could have been
That was really bad.
大声出して暴れるとドラに嫌われるぞ。トガはくさびとなって決して逃さず。悪人じゃないのに自分をトガ人だと思ってるのか。
Okay, that's why he's breaking, but he doesn't feel any pain. That's interesting.
人の世の不条理を殴り、二つフラチな悪行三昧なんて知ったことか。三つ醜かろうが美しかろうが浮世にいるならことごとく無事に帰れないと。
Is this lust? What the fuck?
私の拳が世界を再生させる。私の死の怒りだ。私の答えだ。
Is she a
she's
JoJo
healing
character?
her.
Oh shit. She just did like a stand rush or whatever the fuck. God, they're so spunky, but they're fucking terrifying. Oh, her name's Typhon. Wait, is she lust or wrath? I can't tell. Minerva. Who's Typhon?
I can't remember.
Is he gonna meet all of them?
I think maybe.
Wait, is Typhon... Excuse me. What is up with this 3D witch and an Iron Maiden? The witch's scent? What the fuck is that? This is fucking creepy as hell. This is gluttony.
Yeah.
I thought the first girl was gluttony.
No.
I feel like you put a 0 instead of a 1 there and it... I feel like you're taking it a little far. She has a very true neutral perspective on this whole thing. So it's exactly like the dogs? They all share one conscience. That's not the same. I'd say that's pretty helpful. I wonder why. True. Why would you say that? Ah! Shit. Amelia woke up.
エミリアか。いや、待てよ、そもそも。お前、もともとそのつもりでいたんだ。
性格が悪いまでは言わなくてもいいんじゃないかな。
エキドな、またここに来るにはどうしたらいい？勝手なのは分かってる。けど、この先、またお前の知恵を借りたい。
Good question to ask.
それに、
君の死に戻りを知っているからね。
ああ、そうだ。
頼りにされて悪い気はしないけどね。それはおそらくかなり難し
fuck.
いことだと思う。茶会へ招く条件、君はすでに2度茶会へ招かれた。知りたいと心からの欲求を叫ぶことで僕に声が届く。3度目は2度目よりもさらに大きくだ。もっとも君が目論見通りに試練に臨むとすればその限りじゃないけどね。
そうか。試練の中でなら会えるもんな。俺がここでのことを忘れないための対価だよ。必要なんだろ。
ああ、対価。もちろん忘れてもらっちゃ困るよ。やっぱりこれかな。
やっぱりってただのハンカチ
But
だ
it's
ぞ。それにこれは
心配しなくてもここは精神世界だ。外に戻った時に消えてなくなるわけじゃない。
だったら何の対価になるんだ？
これを送った相手は君を心から案じていた。その思いはバカにできない。対価はその存在を確かめたこととちょっとした干渉かな。確かに。
じゃあ助かった。
I don't.
夏木スバル、もし君が3度目の茶会に来ることがあれば、その時今度は僕の方から君に話したいことがあるんだ。
Does that mean Petra just got sacrificed?
I don't know.
I feel like there's something more to that than just, oh, if I touch your handkerchief in your brain, then
名前詐欺の魔女だ。
it's fine.
Amelia's gone.
エミリアが俺を起こしたんじゃないのか。は？影。エミリア、どうだ？返事をしてくれ。
Oh god. What the fuck just happened? How long was he in there? He wasn't even in there for that long. Is this the serpent? Is this a black serpent?
Yeah, and in
Wait! It's fucking Satella. That was Amelia. It's fucking right there. Where is she going? Why would she go there? Why would she be going there?
If she's going there, maybe it's just to kill people who love him and he cares about. I don't know though. Oh shit.
よもや試練の成否もわからないとは。君が地獄を歩むのならば、私は喜んで同情しよう。君が地獄を生きるのなら、私はその地獄をこそ望むには間違いないようにね。夏希、スバル。
What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? He has the other book? That's the that must be the second
one.
The second of the two that were made out. Yeah.
The like real ones.
The real ones?
The I guess non-defective
Okay.
ones.
Why the fuck is she there? Why the fuck is she there? Did it have something to do with Echidna like opening up to like let all the other witches in? Did that like let her in somehow? Or like draw her there for some reason? Or was there another thing that happened? Or is it an act? It might be. I think it's an active thing on her part. It's probably an active thing on her part. Maybe.
Well, she can like. Well, I mean, I guess also Subaru did talk about return by death. To be fair,
true.
Even though he was in like a literal fake. I mean, it's not fake, but like a different dimension.
He still
than
like
the physical
said
world.
it a million times.
His body is still in the real world, and he said it so many times. So maybe he literally just summoned her.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that might have been it. I mean,
And
it
now
might
it's
have
just
been
wreaking
something.
havoc.
It might have been something else, but
I think that's at least plausible. I think that's
especially
that's a good thing to
since
go
at the end Roswell says try not to make any mistakes next time. I can't think of any because he woke up at his save point and then immediately went into the tea party.
And then said that shit
A million times. But like that was like the big thing that he said. Everything else, either that or like, I don't think it's anything Echidna did. Like it could be she like touched this thing, but I doubt it because like the Witch of Envy literally killed her and everyone else of the witches. So I like, it's highly unlikely.
I think that you're right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with that. Obviously, we don't know for anyone in the comments.
But also, we're not gonna read the comments because you guys spoil
really
everything.
love to spoil shit. I don't know why, but yeah, you love to ruin our reactions at every possible chance you get. But yeah, fuck, that was crazy. That was the episode I needed. That was the fucking episode I needed.
That was a good episode.
That put us ahead leaps and bounds from like the slow bullshit of a lot of this season.
Some people, especially like early on, were getting mad that we were like unhappy with the show because it's just set up, and they were like, oh, unless there's some action, they don't even like the show. Well,
I needed something more than questions to keep me interested.
We needed some answers, and it seemed like we actually got some answers, even if they weren't full answers. They were enough to make me not feel like they were just answering questions with more, like, 2 times as many questions. Like, we still have questions, but I feel like the discrepancy between questions and answers has, like you know, evened out a little bit to the point that I'm not just, like, feeling like I'm 20 steps behind everything, including Subaru.
I feel like I'm there now, and I like that, yeah. Yeah, anyway, I want to talk more about what happened rather than what was like my grievances with what happened before. But that conversation was awesome. This episode was great. Okay, who's did they say Typhon was Pride, and then it was Wrath, and then okay. So Typhon really wanted to meet Subaru, and we've known that there's a connection with Pride from the beginning, and I even called it. I think we both called it, but like I said, I think in a previous reaction either last week or like a couple weeks before where I said that maybe his sort of thing is like a pride thing where he needs to make everything perfect. Or it's like it was given to him. I think it's pretty much conclusive at this point. It was given to him by Satella, but maybe maybe there's not a connection specifically with pride, but she clearly sees that connection. Typhon does, and is like intrigued by that because it's a power that a human has that forces them to keep trying until everything it works out in their favor. Everything works out perfectly.
Well, what I also like is Subaru being like, well, what about Rem? And then Satella's just like, she's not like,
you
that's
mean
not.
Echidna?
Oh yeah, but like Satella doesn't care. Like when she gave him that power, she no one else was in that equation.
Exactly.
But Subaru. So like Echidna was basically just like, yeah, Satella like this power is for you, and what you choose to do with it is completely up to you.
I think that, well, I imagine she has a greater plan. It's not like I think it's more than just it's up to you. I think that she is giving it to him with the faith that things that he will in a roundabout way bring about her favor in the world, like give her an opening or give her some sort of control by like letting him and go and set up the shit. Yeah. And I think again that might have something to do with Amelia, the fact that he loves Amelia. Oh, well, if I give this power to someone that loves Amelia and I want Amelia to be my vessel, then eventually he will keep her alive and put her in the position where I can take control and wreak havoc on the world once again. That's the idea, I think. Yeah, I wonder how the wires got crossed there, because I always took that for granted. I always that was always my understanding, that it was his choice to let everyone live. But maybe the reason is because he just never has let anyone die up to this point, and he's always tried. And he's always died when things didn't work out for other people. So I think maybe he assumed that like, oh, well, if shit doesn't work out and these people die,
that means I'm doing it wrong.
I die immediately after, and then I go back and have to try again. So maybe there's some sort of wires getting crossed there. But he was saying, hey, Rem, let's move to another country and just live out our life. And apparently there's a side story based on that. But obviously he doesn't know about that side story because he never actually did it. But it's just interesting to me that he was under that assumption, because I wasn't. I was always under the assumption that he was like going out of his way to make things more difficult for himself when he could just live out his life, and that was kind of the moral, I guess, is that he's using that power for that reason. Anyway, well, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and it is interesting because like. He was in like basically like the position of like, I don't know, he's like in that like moment where he like choosing between Rem and Amelia, and then Rem is basically dead now, and he made that choice unknowing of the consequences, but he still made the choice regardless, and couldn't take it back. So and I think up until that point he had thought, this power will help me save people whenever, so I can be somewhat frivolous with the choices that I make, like I get a second try if something doesn't go quite right. And so when he's thinking, he's not necessarily thinking all the time, oh, will not going with them or will going and doing this like reap about other things that I'm not necessarily thinking about.
Oh yeah, because he's thinking very like in the moment. He's living in 3-day increments, so he's only concerned with, because everyone's dying constantly. Everyone's dying every 3 days.
So he's not like, oh, if I do this in 5 years from now, this will happen.
Yeah, because he doesn't have time to.
It's just keeping everyone alive until literally the next day.
Exactly. Everyone dies if he doesn't do this shit now. So he doesn't have the luxury of thinking about the future beyond like 3-day increments. So, yeah.
And sometimes things happen that he doesn't account for, like, people just showing up and eating everyone's memory or the memory of them. that obviously was unaccounted for. So it's just... What?
I was just thinking, what's the deal with, what were you going to say? Were you going to say...
No, I was basically...
Okay. I don't know so the white whale had that power. What's the fucking white rabbit's power, the great rabbit's power? Is it just to multiply?
I think that is it. Also, I was wondering about the black serpent. What about in Frozen Bonds? The, like, thing that was, like, rolling around. That, like,
the
black
fire?
goop thing.
The black
That was, like,
goop
taking
thing?
over everything. Do you remember that?
No. I don't. I remember the fiery horse.
Yeah, that guy
creature.
was like the like law enforcement.
Yeah.
But there was
it a serpent or was it just some
I don't know.
ooze?
I don't know if it was the serpent or not. I was just remembering that and wondering if that was it.
Maybe. It didn't remind me. I would never make the connection between that black ooze and a serpent unless I'm forgetting something and it took the form of a serpent or something.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed that we haven't seen the black serpent yet. And that was for a later thing. I made the connection between the dragon because dragons are fucking lizard snake creatures. They're just giant snakes. But I don't know if that's actually the case. Because that wouldn't... Oh, no, obviously that wouldn't make any fucking sense. That wouldn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense. That wouldn't make any sense. The dragon was part of the creation myth. That doesn't make any sense.
That rabbit is really creepy. She's just like... She's just so...
The rabbit?
No, I was just like thinking like just making something like the rabbit and like the whale is so interesting because when she's talking about it, she's not like, oh yeah, I made this thing to like kill everyone and eat everything. It's just like, I wanted to solve world hunger, but I wanted to solve hunger. I wanted people to be able to eat. A rabbit that can multiply indefinitely is, the literal perfect thing for that. However, you shouldn't expect that your food shouldn't want to eat you as well. I don't know, just because she's not wrong.
Yeah.
But it's, I feel like as humans, you're so used to being like the apex predator that just thinking that a rabbit could kill you and want to eat you is not something that really crosses your mind.
Well, it's just they're literally taken for granted. It's the hubris of thinking that things will never change. It's like people who build their houses on stilts next to a fucking cliffside, thinking that the ocean will never move. It's the same thing. It's just like thinking that you're so untouchable because humans are in this place and that's how things are going to be. But if you think about it in the grander scheme of things, why should humans be safer than any other creature? Just because they're more powerful, that doesn't mean they're invulnerable. That doesn't mean that there can't be anything that can topple that, or that doesn't mean that they're more important on like a soul level, on as far as essence is concerned, to this like witch being who's like a pseudo god creature that is like creating all these things. So yeah, there's no reason to think that something like that couldn't exist. And there's no reason to think why humans should be safe for it or safe from it, excuse me. But
yeah, because you think about even, like, tigers or lions or bears or... I said it in the wrong
my.
word. I said it in the wrong
My
word to try and not do that. But anyway, even things like that could easily kill us in terms of it's just us versus them.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have all these, like, knives and guns and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... It's, like, not even that much of a thought. Like, no one is just wandering about their life in constant fear of being mauled by a bear, even if you live in a place with bears.
Yeah.
It's, like, most likely I won't die, like... And the bears aren't, like, actively hunting you. Like, animals aren't like actively hunting people, and if they do kill you, it's because you like got in their way or like were in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's not like there's like mountain lions outside your house waiting for you to walk outside and then murder you and eat you. I don't know. It's just an interesting concept.
Yeah. What else? Minerva's out of control.
She reminds me of, like, kind of Darkness from Konosuba.
What is up with fucking... I'm sorry. What is up with eyebrows in the show? Her eyebrows were ridiculous. Anyway, sorry. Go on. She reminds you of Darkness?
Yeah. She's a little bit different from Darkness, but sort of just that coming onto the scene full force, beating the shit out of Subaru to put him back together. I don't know, just very over the top and, like, kind of cutesy, but kind of scary and just, like, crazy.
Pride was really scary. That was a really cool thing of somebody who does, like, whatever, if you sin, this is gonna hurt. If you don't, you're gonna feel fine. But he breaks apart. He's still injured, but he doesn't hurt at all. Like, so, and that's a really crazy paradox.
I love...
And the way that she's just like, oh, that's really interesting. You completely fell apart, except you're not screaming in pain.
You think that you're bad, but you're not actually.
Yeah. That's a really cool. That's a really, really interesting way of saying that.
I loved how you were just like, man, that could have been really bad, as his arm is like in her hand, and I was like,
it is. Well, it wasn't. It was just in his mind.
Yeah.
As long as he could, like, maintain, this isn't real. This doesn't exist.
Well, yeah.
Like, yeah. That was the terrifying prospect. As soon as she showed up, she was just like this cute little girl. I was just like, oh, fuck. The cuter the creature, the more terrifying it is in the show.
Especially for Subaru, who doesn't seem to, like, be aware of that. He's like,
he was aware of that this time.
No, but, like, the first time, oh, this dog is so cute, I'm gonna let me bite it every day.
Oh, look at this crazy little rabbit. It's kind of cute. Hands gone. Like, he never learns his lesson with that shit. But then again, it doesn't matter if he did, because he would die in those situations anyway. Yeah. Always. It's always like that, and that's the thing. I've said it since, like, season 1. The show does that. It's because I guess I'll talk about it again a little bit for people who didn't watch our season 1 reactions. It's really interesting that the way they sort of portray magic in the show, because the cutest thing, the most unassuming thing, is always the most strong and the most badass and the most insane, because it's not about physical appearance or strength. It's magic. It's ethereal. And to someone like Subaru, who's from a different world, there's no reason why you would assume, if you come from the real world, why this lolly who's sitting in a library all day is the most powerful person in the land. Or whatever. Take your pick of characters. Puck turns out to be this fucking giant monstrosity ice Godzilla when shit goes bad. Like, everything, every little thing, the biggest things and the most intimidating looking things aren't actually the most powerful. Even the white whale, once they really got down to it, it wasn't as powerful as, the forces that they put against it. Mm-hmm. And that's because they set it up in a way that we as real people, and Subaru is a real person, would not assume upon first glance. As you learn it, you start to think, oh shit, the cute little creature, this is gonna be rough. But coming into it, you don't assume that, and it's really good a way of portraying that, and that's why magic in the show is really good, because it's not about, like, giant explosions and shit like that all the time. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Yeah, but now, up to this point, you kind of know when you see Typhon that she's that's a scary piece of fucking magical little girl right there. That's horrifying. Yeah. What else? Could we talk more about Satella being there? I guess we kind of did, but
I don't know what else to... She's really creepy.
Okay, so did... how long has... No, okay. Oh, okay, I just thought of something. With Roswaal, I was thinking, okay, how does Roswaal know about Subaru's return by death? because he clearly knew last episode when he was just like, and we thought that he's known the last few times they've talked. But leaving Subaru alone with Amelia and like letting him handle all that shit wouldn't make sense unless he knew back then as well. And the only way that I think a mortal could know that is if Echidna told him, because since they have that connection.
In that book.
Or if it's written in that book. That's true. That's actually true. Shit.
And that's why he's holding the book, and he's like...
But he's known it for all this time, then, is my point.
Yeah,
it's
and I mean, that would make sense the whole time when, like, I remember the first time I was, like, thinking Roswell was all sketchy, and he was in the royal selection, and Subaru comes in, and he's, like, kind of amused by it. I don't know if maybe he even knew then that, like, whatever Subaru was doing was, like, kind of the right thing to do and needed to happen.
Yeah, because you that really struck you for some reason that he said amused, or, like, that he was, like, you know.
Yeah, I forget what exactly he said, but I remember I was, like, really...
fixated on that detail. But you're right, that would make sense.
Because he wouldn't necessarily... He wouldn't remember the previous timeline, but if he, like, had the knowledge, he would know, like, maybe this is the second time, and this is, like, what you need to do right. Or maybe this is, like, a fucked up thing, and you're gonna not do it again. Either way,
Imagine living with that knowledge. That someone else has the power to rewrite timelines, and you're not sure. Like, if you come across a fucking madman, and he's doing some crazy shit, and you're like, I hope that this is the right one. Because if it's not, are you just testing the ground and using my life, like, to sort of test the ice as you walk across this thinly frozen river? Like, and are we all gonna get sucked down the rapids at this point? Like, is that what's about to happen? I hope this is the last time and not literally the second time you've done this crazy maneuver. Imagine living with that knowledge, and you have no control. It's completely out of your hands, and if you address it, then you could possibly die if you, like, address it to his face.
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, but
and you're not a cute anime girl. He's not gonna go back in time to save you. He's not gonna die immediately after you die just to save you. You're not a fucking waifu. So yeah.
But if he knows, he must have known, like, pretty much the whole time. Unless it was, like, he only knew, like, part of the time, but that would be weird if he is finding out from inside the book. Which would make sense because he's, like, holding it as he's dying and, like, hoping Subaru does it right the next time. So, in my opinion, this is my theory, that, like, it says, like, in the book, because it's supposed to be, like, everything that's gonna happen. It's, like, predicting the future, right? It's, like...
Yeah.
It's the truth of what will happen. So, obviously, in there would be... And if Subaru isn't messing with that, if that includes Subaru in the book, then he would have to know about it.
True. Yeah.
Like, unless...
He's just like, they wake up, Beatrice and Roswell wake up, and they're just like...
what's on the schedule today?
What's on the docket today?
Horrifically.
Oh, no. Leave the mansion and leave Subaru in charge? or leave Rom in charge, and everything will turn out okay.
Because of Subaru.
Apparently Amelia's gonna get kidnapped. I don't know what that's about, but it says that Subaru will handle it. Yeah. Oh, it's changing. What is that about? Like, yeah.
And it doesn't seem like Subaru's, like, going against anything in there, because or else Roswell would probably, like, if you have the truth of all life and suddenly it's not true anymore, that would be a major crisis, and it doesn't seem like Roswell's having that crisis.
I wonder how far ahead it goes, and if it changes day to day. Like, cause if it goes years ahead, then he would literally see it changing, because Subaru is, like, fucking around and doing crazy shit. Or did one day he had it for years, and you could see ahead for years, and then Subaru comes along, and now it's blank, and it's being written by the minute. Or something, you know? Like, it's like Tom Riddle's diary, where it's just, like, ink is being sort of sketched in there.
Yeah, I wonder
what the deal with that is. How in-depth is that artifact?
Yeah. And, like, if it's written in there, like, Subaru is gonna do this, or if it's changing based on, but it only started changing once Subaru came into the picture or something. And
the way Beatrice talked about it, I'm not sure how in depth it goes into other people, because the Beatrice was saying that I can only do what's in the gospel. So I don't know if it says Subaru's going to do this, or if it says Beatrice will cower while Subaru is murdered in front of her, or something in the Forbidden Library, or if it's something like that. I wonder how that works.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, and I wonder if it can change, or if it is, since it is like the truth, it is completely set in stone. Everything that is in there, everything that is happening has been written since day one, and that's just how it is. And all this fuckery that's going on with Subaru is literally what was already supposed to happen. I'm not sure on that.
I don't think so, because it's changing. Fate wouldn't be the same if Subaru didn't return by death and change it.
Yeah, but what if it was written in there that he would return by death?
Well, then Roswell wouldn't be saying, I hope you do it differently the next time.
Yeah, I also don't know how far ahead you can look in there.
That's my point, is I'm saying, like, it wouldn't, if it said Subaru returns by death 5 times, or whatever, I don't think it says that. No,
I mean, like, how far ahead can Roswell and Beatrice look inside the book?
I know, but that would depend on whether it says, or whether it accounts for Subaru's return by death. You know what I mean? That's like, if it accounts for Subaru's return by death, then if there's like 365 days in a year, but Subaru repeats that every 3 days 10 times, then years would be years long, and then the page would need to be like, you know, it depends on, because it would need to say Subaru returns by death, or does it say, I think here's what I think it is. I think they open it up and it says up to a certain time, maybe it might say up to like years in the future or whatever, but it has a prescription laid out that is just what would happen if independent of return by death. Like, okay, in this timeline we woke up, checked it. Okay, say it says something about Subaru. I don't think it does. I think it says general like stuff about the goings on of the country maybe, but it says like, oh, Rem and Subaru flee the country and have a life, and flip to 54 pages in the future. They have their second child, and Subaru has graduated from university or whatever. Then that's it. But if he returns by death, then they'll wake up and it'll have a different set of pages. That's if it goes years in the future. I'm not sure. I don't know how far ahead it goes, but I don't think it accounts for return by death. That's my point.
What I was saying is,
you weren't saying that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was saying, what if they can't see into the future, like necessarily like see years into the future, even like the book only lets them go to a certain point each day or whatever. Each day they can only see that day, and they just have to do it and believe that that's what's right.
I think that's true. I think that's what it is.
That's what I was saying.
Okay,
time.
I thought. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Well, I
thought you were saying something different.
I was exploring multiple possibilities, but that's what I was most recently trying to say.
Okay. Sorry.
Is that it's not necessarily what the book says, it's just what they have access to of what is pre-written. So in that case, they could have returned by death a million times, because Roswell's talking about like, do it right next time. Either that could mean that the book changes, or that he just can't he can't see into the future. He just has to blindly trust that this is the right thing.
I think you're right. I agree with that. I thought you were saying something different.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But as far as Satella being here, I think the way when she like went up to Subaru, it looked like Amelia, and where's Amelia? She's nowhere to be found. But there's a fucking black witch over there with white hair and looks like Amelia, looks like a half elf, you know, like it looks like her. I think that she's now a vessel. That's
either that or
theory.
They did just look similar, but we've been predicting for a while that Amelia is the vessel. Because
Betelgeuse literally said that.
Yeah.
So.
But we haven't known when that was going to happen, and I'm assuming Subaru is going to die.
I don't know why you would assume that.
I'm thinking he will, because, like...
Unless the people of Arlem are just fucking dead now, and everyone in the sanctuary is just fucking dead now, and Roswell's fucking dead, and probably Rom.
I don't know how Garfield just like coming in, just like saving Subaru. He's just like,
because he's like a bodybuilder's persona. He's fucking huge. He's Tony the Tiger looking
he can
ass.
jump so, and he must be light as well, because jumping from tree to tree, like you can't just jump on the top of trees.
He's got some haunches. That's all it is. He's got that. Is that core strength? No, that's like
leg strength.
Yeah. Leg strength. He's got that leg strength. Garfield does not skip leg day. I don't know. I think that's Amelia. I think that he is going to die as well. I agree. But I don't know beyond that. I guess now their plan is to take down the Great Rabbit by luring them into an open area and bombing it, like carpet bombing all of them.
Well,
somehow.
I mean, you know who's good at that? Roswell, but he's injured.
Yeah, they're attracted by mana, but not the other mobbies were attracted by the witch's scent. Is that the same as mana? I feel like the witch's scent is mana, but I don't know.
Maybe it's different. Like,
because the white whale was attracted by the witch's scent, but Subaru doesn't have a lot of mana. What attracts mobbies to him is the fact that he has the witch's scent, but that's not the same as having a high concentration of mana.
I think that might just be different. Like, normally because like the white whale would show up other times, or maybe I'm just thinking.
What?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if maybe that's like a secondary thing. Like, they hunt based on that for themselves because they're hungry. But if they can smell the witch's scent, that like overrides.
Yeah.
That's like an even deeper natural instinct.
I'm not sure.
Or if that it's just like.
I think that's probably true for all mobbies. I think that's
Yeah.
a mobbies thing. Yeah.
That's what I mean, like, but normally.
But which is more alluring? Would Subaru, like, going out there saying, I can return by death, and then releasing his fucking smoke powers, and then running out of there? Would they all be drawn to him, and then sit in the smoke, and then and then Roswell just carpet bombs the area like he did with the other mobbies? Is that the solution here? Is it that easy? I mean, it's not going to be easy. People are going to die, and he's probably going to have to do it a couple times. But, like, is that the actual strategy? Or would it be better if, I guess, who would have more mana? I think Amelia would probably have more mana than Roswell. Like, raw power, not as skilled, but probably raw power. She might have to go out there and draw them, and then, like, skip away somehow before they gnaw her fucking toes off, and everything else after.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Subaru would be more alluring, or if someone with higher mana.
Also, like, the trial is still a thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Whether that's Subaru doing it or being able to actually help Amelia so that she can do it by herself, which I hope is what happens.
So we can actually get some fulfillment on that.
So we can actually know her backstory, and she can actually deal with the things that are holding her back.
Mm-hmm.
I know someone last time commented that Frozen Bonds is her backstory.
But we didn't actually
get anything. She had a backstory before Frozen Bonds. Frozen Bonds is just meeting and like being with Puck.
Yeah.
She had an entire nother backstory where we're like led to believe that she froze her entire
people and like slept for a certain amount of time,
yeah.
Woke up after humans settled there. There's some
way deeper
that's
shit
not a
going
backstory on. That's just like that's not an inciting incident. That's just like a little piece of like slightly before we got to where we are now. That doesn't explain where she actually came from, what her life was before then, the people that were in her life before that, all that shit happened. That's after the fall.
And yeah, that's not the reason why she's so messed up about her past.
Yeah. That
section had a good resolution that she was with Puck.
Yeah, that wasn't Amelia's backstory. That was Puck's backstory. Amelia was just a template to get Puck character development. But we didn't actually learn that much about Amelia.
That was just like is literally called like Frozen Bonds. That was literally just them bonding together, and that's why they're together. That was like their backstory, not either one of their full backstory. So, but it did give us enough to like, now that we have an idea of what her real backstory is. I really want to see her as a character get through that, because she's been avoiding it her entire life.
Yeah.
Actually, like, accepting what happened and, like, dealing with it in a healthy way.
Me too. Yeah. I'm excited to see more about that. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction to ReZero Season 2, Episode 9, and our review. Hope you enjoyed the discussion and everything. If you did, we hope you leave a like. Oh shit, I need to say. Okay, thank you guys for watching this episode of ReZero, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye. And thank you to all of our patrons, especially those in the Student Council: Michael Wells,
Vash,
Salad Dallas,
Jude Caspino Buford,
Charles Liu,
D23L,
JC Andrada,
Napoleon Bonaparte,
Handicap Bonkai,
Brian,
Nelson Barbosa,
Xavier Rhodes,
Chris Janvey,
Yeet,
Lewis,
Iwan Pilger,
Aurora,
John Ortega.
and Zenge. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one.